Hi everyone, welcome to Game 2 of the semifinals match for the 2018 US Star Wars CCG National Championship between No Limit, Steven Cellucci versus
Wampa 1, Reed Smith.
Wampa 1, 3MWOJ0J8, Reed Smith. Um, the first game, if you saw it or not, Reed Smith pulled out a win with his light side no idea deck by 5 over Steven Cellucci's Dark Senate. So he is up by 5 in the match, and Cellucci will need to win by more than 5 to win, or if it's exactly 5, they will go to the lost pile tiebreaker. Right now, um, you are looking at Steven Cellucci's Yane deck, which we saw earlier on stream, but
Wow.
if
When they're shuffling, it's like shaking the whole thing.
if you weren't there, we will go over some of the quirkier cards here in Steven Cellucci's deck in just a few minutes and explain some of the strategy he's going for.
Hey.
And uh, he is facing off against Reed Smith, who is playing an Agents of the Black Sun deck, and it looks like he started prepared defenses. And do you know his 3 starting effects? They're off camera.
Crush, Wipe, and Shadows.
Okay, so the new Shadows of the Empire effect from V9 says if Emperor's on Coruscant, he can draw 1 from his force pile, and if he's also at 3 battlegrounds at the same time, Slucci takes 1 damage, and you can do that on both players' turn. So he can, it's sort of like a Visage or a Search and Destroy kind of constant ping damage if he can get to 3 battlegrounds. Wipe them out, all of them. Says if he is at a battleground during Lightside's turn, he can activate a force. And Crush the Rebellion means he can lose 1 to stop Clash, real good against mains, and he can also upload I Have You Now, good if Jedi Luke attacks Emperor, and upload Evader Monarch. Suchi was going to search through his deck. Rescue, Rescue has him peek at the top 3. You're just used to you play a Wisa or something and you flip over your deck to start searching, and he's going, whoops, I saw my bottom card, and do you want me to shuffle? He's asking Reed what to do. It's going to shuffle right here, so it doesn't matter that he saw it because he's playing the card anyway. You peek at the top 3, choose 1, and then you shuffle your whole deck anyway, so it really doesn't matter that he accidentally saw that bottom one. I guess well,
I
no.
wish we could see what he's taking.
Yeah, yeah. Let me mention that and
Just off camera.
see if would show the hands real quick. All right, so I mentioned to them, see if they can flash the camera for us. um, so let's dive into this match. Reed pays 1 here to use Shadows. That can pull any Coruscant location. That's the other thing it does besides the ping damage, and that's real strong because it can pull a 2-0 location, a Twix that Emperor can deploy free to, and of course it can get your Choose Horse sites and things like that. Um, I think this matchup in general, light side's going to be looking to be aggressive on Coruscant. It can't do a ton of damage at its own locations at the farm and at the Tatooine system, so it's going to probably have to forego some of its use pupils and things like that to send Luke and Chewie and go over and attack Coruscant, because if it just leaves Black Sun to set up ping damage, it'll drain 1 at the
So he's
system.
not playing a shield to prevent the Emperor from deploying for free.
No.
Or maybe he. So Reed looks like he just lost, according to my design, to do what?
I don't know. He did just pay 2, so maybe he did play the free shield.
Why did he lose 1?
And then he pays 1 to move him over.
Um,
I don't know. How could he lose 1? Wipe, crush, lose 1 with... No. Lose 1 to cancel clash. There's no clash.
um, well, this may be something we
Quick
never get to
shadows.
know.
Interesting. Alright, so
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 there's
she
a
has the
mysterious
JCC.
force loss that we don't know what it was for.
We've had a few.
That thing
weird,
doesn't deploy the
mysterious-
Emperor, does it?
No.
I think it has to go.
It can go either place, and but so can Shizor's Palace. But then once Shizor's Palace is out, it has to go in a certain order. So I
if he
think if
puts
I'm
it-
Cellucci, put it next to the dudes,
So he has
so
to
that
walk 2 more
he has to
spaces.
walk 2 sites to get over to Shizor's Palace. Definitely. I mean, the downside is he could get drained, and if he doesn't get a battleground quick for simple tricks. But I think you make him, force him to move through a couple sites. He moved through the JCC most likely. But yeah, and he does decide to do that. Shizor's Palace will have to go on one of the ends, either one that Reed chooses.
But JCC is interior, so the Caesar's Palace will have to go the other way. They'll have to go next to the Coruscant Square.
Oh, you're right. You are correct.
So he'll have to walk extra sites to get to the battleground.
Yeah, so that's a fortunate start. It looks like Do or Do Not and the Grabber Shield was played by Cellucci. So
There's a Clash of Sabers I saw in there. So the Crush already has value.
Yep. And Cellucci has in his deck, we see a Neighborin and an On the Edge.
I may have seen
and
the
some
second
Speaks.
Clash, honestly.
Um,
He's counting his Wisos probably.
yeah, and checking what characters are in, how many Lukes are in his deck, things like that.
I feel as though I saw 2 Clashes.
I don't know. There's not. So he gives up a Verify. I'm guessing he was just searching for Yoda that's not in the deck.
Not to be confused with Yodad.
Yodad, who is
Was
should
supposed to
actually
be
called
here,
Yon's dad.
but apparently Maryland is flooding right now, so
Oh no.
he wasn't able to make it, which would have put us to 25 players that would have bumped the Theed Palace free set that I offered into existence, but we were
Whoa.
1 away. And Matt Scott, who, poor guy, I'll just not get into it, but he missed his flight, and he didn't come. Without going into lack of more information on his personal life.
Okay,
But
that's unfortunate.
very
Um,
unfortunate.
So I think Light, like I was saying, can't really afford to go over to Tatooine and just do their own thing because they can't keep up with the damage of.
Maybe like the Chewbacca, like against the TTO or something. Something so Shmi isn't
or
sitting,
Leia.
So Shmi
I could
isn't
I
just
could see
sitting with
Leia
3PO.
going over there, so you can still retrieve with Rey, and you get your 1 use pile pull. But I think Chewie's going to want to be aggressive with his weapon. I think Luke's going to want to be aggressive over on Coruscant, because if Dark sets up a couple sites in the system and it's just like drain one, ping one with shadows on your turn,
It's not going to go well.
it's not
for
going to go
Light.
well for Light, who's like drain 1 or 2 at the site, 1 at the system. So we're going to see an interactive matchup for sure here. And Reed finishes verifying, checks everything in the deck. I'm sure he notices that on the edge, and so he might pull code clearance at some point. There was a Hoojix in there. So let's briefly talk about Steven's deck here, Yane. And if you were listening earlier, this will be a little bit of a repeat. But for anyone who missed that or is watching this on YouTube later and didn't see that other game, it's important to know what'll be going on here. So the virtual card Yane from Virtual Set 1 looks like this, and if someone deploys to her site or an adjacent site, you can activate 1. She's 4+1 with Amidala, and once per turn she can peek at the top card of your force pile and reserve deck and return 1 to each deck or pile. That is, so you can just set them back or you can swap them from your force and reserve.
She's a musician. Huh.
She's a musician. She plays the flute.
Skin?
I think.
No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to go there.
And
I'll be chastised for dropping the F-bomb.
Yeah, probably the violin. There's a nice picture of Panaka in the background. So the key tech with her is, like my father before me, would let you put a card from hand onto your force pile. So if you've got like a Destiny 6 or 7 in your hand, and Luke's on table and she's with Padme, you put that card, that High Destiny, onto your force pile, and then you use her to peek at your force and reserve and swap it onto top of your reserve. And so then, Cellucci, it looked like he verified, maybe not for Yoda, but for Shmi, and she wasn't in there because he just drew a bunch and drew Shmi, which she normally goes to the slave quarters to pull 3PO. He's looking at 2 Lukes and something else, and he takes a Luke. So
I don't think they understood that we wanted to see their opening hands too, or did they?
it doesn't. It's
Oh, I know. Is he good?
So
Nisky.
So Yane then can swap a high destiny basically from hand to force to the top, and then you can do stuff like making sure your weapons hit, and so you can sorry about the mess, or getting a higher destiny then within
Or on the edge
with Calfal, who then reduces theirs to 0, or playing on the edge to retrieve, or stuff like that.
or a perfect sabak.
Perfect 7.
Bet Cellucci didn't think of that one, did he?
I think it's been in there, but you do have to track one and then pop another one on top. But that
Yeah,
works.
but you know exactly what it is. So whatever you need to match up with it, you put back with Luke and then move it there. So the bottom one and then that one match the perfect sabak.
The bottom one.
You leave 2 on top. So say you have a 6 in your hand. You want to put back with Luke. You leave the 5 and then activate down. So there's 1 card and then the 5, and then you swap the 6 on the top. So when you use sabak, it's 6/5.
Yeah.
Which will probably be in the deck
So it
now.
looks like Reed is getting Shizor's bounty. I'm guessing since he's pulling that from reserve, he played the Fanfare V shield to pull an immediate effect. And
he probably drew with the Emperor.
What that will do is, if there's a Black Sun agent there, you can pay 1 and play it on a character, and they can't battle that turn.
Is that the sewer?
So it's kind of like a barrier, but they can still move. It does look like the sewer is coming out, and then when that character is lost, you get to retrieve a force, look at their hand, and then lose the effect. So it's a little nice bounty that Black Sun can pull.
And retrieve itself.
It doesn't retrieve itself, because you retrieve 1 and then the effect is lost.
You sure?
I'm positive. Well, yeah. I'll pull up the card as well.
Because I think you get to pick what order it goes in.
No. That would be sweet, but sadly it does not. No. So yeah, it says if character is about to leave table or be captured, peek at opponent's hand, retrieve 1, and loses immediate effect. So it's in that order.
Okay.
So Reed does move over his Shizor and Emperor back to the Emperor's site due to that JCC forcing the slowdown.
So I expect Cellucci to go with Luke now, probably, to the sewer. So he'll have to at least get another site out to be able to move.
So next turn he'll pull Shizor's Palace.
Stuck.
Well, so Emperor won't be stuck then, because...
Well, if his site is active.
Right.
Which prolongs him another turn of doing
He'd have to have probably... I'm imagining he's playing all 3 sites. The Shizor's Palace.
Yeah.
What's the other one called?
Uplink Station.
Uplink, thank you. Uplink Station and the sewer. So unless both of them are active, he should have a site to move.
I'm not so sure it's good to play all 3, but I haven't got to play test enough yet.
I like all 3. I like having the battlegrounds, and sometimes you need to run around and just occupy battlegrounds for the shadows damage. The sewer's great though. Retrieving a dude once per turn straight into hand, or not once per turn, once per game, is
makes
just
Dr. Afra so good. You throw her down, get it as a JCC, get a droid, and it forces them to do something.
Get her back.
You get both of them back.
Yeah.
Or if they just leave it alone, JCC is a drain of 3.
Or Boba Fett Bounty Hunter, or IG with gun, or Dengar with gun against
Prince
vehicle
Shizor
stuff, or Prince Shizor if he dies. It's great. And you don't even have to be at the site. It doesn't say if you control, if you occupy. It's just if you occupy 3 battlegrounds, any battlegrounds. Yeah, so you were correct. He went with Luke, and he's going to use Like My Father Before Me to pull the saber, and I think he's going to want to basically start doing damage. If he can drain 3 here, he will. Do you know if there's anything like... always thinking with your stomach or something that
I don't think so.
That he should be aware of.
I think that site's interior for now, but I don't think there's a.
You were right. It's like underground, like the Wampa. So it's not like underwater, but it's underground. There we go.
Trio.
Reed picks up Yane.
Uh-oh.
And says, "What is this jank?" And he's got Padme, Yane, and Luke at the sewer. So we're gonna see some action, I think. So Cellucci then peeks at both. He sees Yane and Hujix.
So he'll probably switch them, so he can take the Hujix in the hand and then put back a card with Like My Father Before Me.
I would think so.
Seems legit. We couldn't see what order he put them in, but if he draws that, since the other one was Yane, right?
Yeah.
So he's not gonna put a card back with Luke.
Yeah, that's interesting.
not going to give any credicy to a
First
first
strike.
strike.
Yeah, maybe
Capture,
just all his
beatdown.
cards are really good.
Yeah, it could be it.
But
I'd be scared of hidden weapons, beatdown, or some such nonsense. So.
yeah,
I mean, how much? Reed looks like he has a sizable force pile.
yeah, I think he had saved 3 or 4,
can't
and right now he's
remember.
activating 11 plus wipe. Oh, he doesn't have wipe active yet. He's not at a battleground, so he's activating 11. He had 3 or 4 saves, so he's probably at 14, 15
I don't remember
force.
if he has hidden weapons in this deck or not.
Hidden weapons is a great card against
Lots of
Luke
stuff.
capturing stuff. Yeah, of course, Steven does
Cards
play
that don't
Hear Me
save
Baby to
force when you have
cancel.
first strike.
Yeah, you can't play Hear Me Baby if first strike is out and you don't have a force.
It's early on in the game. He probably hasn't pieced all that together with that.
Adam Shelberg points out the other cool thing Yane can do is you can choose between your top card of Force and Reserve and choose which one to drop and draw with 3PO. Yeah, so even if you haven't Luke affected a card, if you just have 2 random stuff on after you've activated or whatever, you're not going to do anything else with that turn. You can peek and be like, which one of these do I want to 3PO into my hand?
The other match is still pretty close.
Tom and Pete have started their second game a little bit earlier. They'd finished lunch a little bit
is-
earlier, and so they're Tom's Black Sun against Pete's Y4 Ops, and apparently it's a pretty close game
So
at
is
the
he
moment.
actually using the Leia shield? Or can you not use the Leia shield unless you use your Destiny?
Yeah, that's only for Brigham. It's not for Black Sun.
Okay. So he's going to be on the flip side the entire game.
So Shizor's Palace comes out.
That's interesting.
He's got all the ground sides covered, but their projections are not really doing that.
2 of them are projectioned.
So double projection, I guess, is out in that other game,
Double projection
slowing down
is-
Tom.
Double projection might make me angrier than Clash does.
However, he's going to still get the Shadows ping and the Black Sun ping if Luke Rebellion's Hope is up in
possibly
space.
2 Black Sun pings.
Luke was lost from space, but yeah, he's in space. So Black Sun's flipped, doing 2 damage with that. They're doing 2 with Shadows, and then they're fighting in space while Light's fighting back. So sounds like an interesting match as well. I think lots of good matches in this top 8. I think this one will be pretty exciting, and I think the finals will be as well.
So he pulled one, pulled the other.
Pulled one, pulled the other. So now
Now he'll add probably Vigo or
Now
a
Dark's
guy
activating
like Jodacast.
15 force a turn, and Wipe gives them a 16th one basically,
So he's going to have force to do stuff.
while Light is getting 13. So they're both
White doesn't have
both getting some
Boss Nash
force.
Chambers yet, though.
Light has all their locations on table.
Where's Boss Nash Chambers?
It is not on table.
But it's in his hand.
No,
He doesn't play it.
right.
Interesting.
He has 4 locations in the deck, and they are all right next to each other right now.
Very interesting.
So, I think clearly the impetus onus is on Mr. Smith to decide how he wants to deal with that site. It's going to be a drain of 3 with that lightsaber.
He's going to probably have to eat it for at least a turn.
He probably can't this turn necessarily force the issue.
I'm guessing he'll
but-
try and set up resistance.
But he also can't ignore it. Yeah, so he plays Dark Time to activate one. He's 1 to move Emperor, and Shizor moves free because Black Sun agents move free to Shizor's Palace. And then I'm guessing he wanted some crucial stuff in his force pile. That's why he activated one first, so he could make sure he didn't accidentally
Or try and
use
force
something.
a grab, possibly.
Yeah. No, there's no force active.
Oh, you're
Remember
right.
you and all about the first strike combo.
I would have definitely not played my Dark Time there after I verified he had on the
And then Reed just drew his whole force pile. So he now has a large hand.
But he has wipe, so I'll activate one.
Correct.
Play his Ezra's bounty.
Correct. So he can still bounty, but he's vulnerable to Grimtosh right now.
And Cellucci does play Grimtosh.
So she does indeed
Plays
play
both
Grimtosh.
days.
So I think Battle Order is going to come out, and Cellucci will pay to drain.
I'm guessing that Reed's his space was probably in his force pile.
Yeah, he wants to. You want to set up space because that's he loses
So he controlled the force drain.
just a control, not even a
I
control
asked him why
combo.
that was in there, and he's like, I was like, why is control good? He's like, for anything you'd want to control. And I'm like, okay. So now we see why it's good.
For
Just saved him.
that was something he wanted to control. Without that, it would be out of his control
RSmith, effing genius.
for anything. he wanted.
Notice I didn't drop an F bomb there, but I said effing. I don't know.
but not an effing animal.
Oh God, no.
Um,
If anything, Rita's unruly.
so Shmi comes down and she pulls 3PO, who also comes down with. No, he goes down next door to the farm. She's going to be quite vulnerable. There's not a ton of spies in Black Sun, but there's Probot
Dr. Afra.
and Afra. But
But Afra would not deploy for free.
however, so he's yawning between a control tunnel and a Luke and deciding where to put them.
He has a Luke, so.
It looks like he left the control tunnel on top so he could 3PO for it, which makes sense. If
I wonder how many times Reed will read Yane. That's twice. Over under on 5. I don't know if I would have played it. If I would have verified he had it on the edge, seeing the small mistakes Cellucci's made so far, I think I would have kept the dark time. So if he tries it on the edge and he doesn't say the right number, he can just blow up his character.
he says one less than the destiny,
Yeah.
you can just add one or subtract one from the destiny and then blow up a dude. Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Reed
We've
only
talked
plays
about that
one dark
scenario
time.
though, so including like in a chat yesterday with some team members, and so I think he would be aware of it and remember in the moment. But you never know; it's definitely worth it. So it looks like Cellucci's just drawing, which is like, why didn't you swap the control tunnel then? Why are you gonna like have to 3PO into it if you're gonna immediately draw that force?
Maybe he wanted another Luke. Maybe he'll put the Luke back. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but if he puts it back,
We're sure he put the control tunnel vision on top of his deck.
It very much looked like it to me, but I that could be mistaken. He could have swapped him off camera before I saw and then set him down.
But
So
he
anyway,
can't go over 12 either. He's got the on the edge in his hand. And the 7 destiny.
yeah, he cannot go over 12 because Reed started Crush, which pulls Evader Monarch. So they're both.
Looks like he has Nabrin also.
Shmi is vulnerable both to those two spies we mentioned and then to Ellis, and so I think.
So he'll
So he
probably
does
save
3PO.
some force so he can possibly Nabrin away. But if he's going
Yeah,
to
but
do
he's only
that,
saving 3. He could loop
I was going
effect
to say
to
if he was
4.
going to do that, I think he would have lost the left the control tunnel vision on top until.
He can always on Reed's turn pick the lower destiny and swap it onto there.
Oh, it's once per turn.
It's once it's on opponent's
Oh
turn
God,
as well.
Yane is freaking insane, dude. She can always just.
She's
yeah.
an animal.
Yane is unruly.
All right, so that control helped save Reed a little bit of force here while he's setting up. I think he's going to want to go to that Coruscant system.
He's probably not going to
with the
bother paying
fist.
to drain for 1.
No, I wouldn't think so. I think he's going to go to Coruscant system with the fist so he can start at free drains and maybe go to the other site, but probably not quite yet. I could see I could see him going fist to the system, moving Shizor over to the site because the middle site drains +1 if fist is out there and a Black Sun agent is out there.
Bring both of them, because if
Burn both of what?
bring both the guys over.
Oh yeah. No, but what I'm saying is, fist move Shizor over, then you can ping with shadows because you're at 3 battlegrounds,
Oh,
and
I
then
gotcha.
move Emperor over. Right. Yeah, and so he'll move. I agree that he'll have both of them there, but you do a shadows ping in the middle while you're temporarily occupying 3 battlegrounds.
Because in playtesting, I got blown out in the game. Because when I put out space, I was like planning on shuttling Padme up, but I was at the sewer, and then it got pointed out that it was underground or interior. So
I think it's underground, like the Wampa Cave. It's got a weird little cave icon.
Does it? Nice.
Yeah.
I'm saying it'll take 2 turns to get Padme in space, which gives her.
So there's like an underwater icon, but there's also an underground icon that's
It's
the same.
underwater and underground.
No, it is not underwater.
Oh my God.
It should be. It's a sewer.
Well,
Sewers
that
are-
depends on if you go diving.
Um,
So I think it's right there.
oh geez, not the tiny blurry one, but the large. Oh, not V6 either.
We could have looked at General Veer's virtual. I'm not sure if he's good or not yet.
So they're, that little like Wampa Cave looking icon.
Oh, nice.
Or I guess it's the Hoth Echo corridor. That's what it is. But the Wampa Cave but that's like a picture of the
So
dark
why
side
did
Hoth
they
Echo
should have made
corridor.
that the Hoth Echo corridor instead of the swamp?
I don't know.
You have
Anyway,
to use
the
2
the
cards under
sewer
the
is,
sleeve.
is interior and is underground, but I don't think that's ever relevant for actual gameplay. Just for you nerds who wanted to know that.
What does that say?
Bastion points out that the fist alone doesn't make the system a battleground. You need a Black Sun agent aboard. So
Yeah.
yeah, I wasn't necessarily implying he drops the fist and that's it. I was just in general on the turn fist and probably some dudes. I think it would be.
I think he'll wait a turn to do it because he's not going to want to
then move
go
guys
small,
over.
basically.
Someone called me a nerd for knowing that underground icon thing, but
Dude,
I think we're all
you gotta
nerds
know
here.
what sites have the Wampa
I'm
Cave
talking about
icon.
a Star Wars card game that hasn't been in print for 18 years, and you guys are listening to me do it. So
Who's the more nerd, the nerd or the nerd that follows them?
I think it's clearly you in this scenario,
Oh
B.
god,
Fred.
it really is.
That quote put it over the top.
That was really like that was. I need to take it down to about a 2. That was like a 10.
I don't know what's I don't know what's going on here. I think it's still RSmith's turn, and he's got
Yeah.
just a bunch of force, and he's deciding what to do.
I don't think he's gonna go to space this turn. He'll want to be more established.
He doesn't want to get blown out by like a
something that just takes his space
yeah
away.
a ship, Ray,
So
Solo.
it looks like he
Screaming
might be
Lando something.
playing something. He's playing the fist.
Oh, Tom won the whole match. All right, so apparently Tom's Black Sun beat Pete's Yops by enough to win the match. So Tom Hade is our first finalist, and so he will be on the stream with the winner
So why
of
is
this
that?
match.
What's activating the force? Yane.
Yane activates one when you deploy character to same or I want to say adjacent, related.
Yeah,
I
it
don't know
has
which
because
one.
he's activated too.
Yeah, it's not a once per turn thing. So she is character to same or adjacent site may activate one. So 2 characters came down, he activated 2. So that's pretty sweet for with first strike, and activate another one. Greedo comes down.
So now we know why Cellucci only has 4 locations deck because he has Yane, who would just activate 4 force right there.
Yeah, Yane is pretty good. We're up to three reads for read on Yane. We'll see if we hit your over under a 5. Yane peaks now. There's a Chewy and a Clash. Well, Clash does nothing with Crush on table.
Somebody definitely clashed me anyways, and then looked
And then you were like,
flabbergasted when I
lose
canceled
one.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was Gogol and too.
I've done that. I've made that mistake. Forgotten it was on table.
It's
And
just a
doesn't like.
1-for-1 trade-off. I mean, you just kill combat. I put combat cards down so they could just kill them with
Sure.
triple A or simple.
Sure.
So
So,
let's still do that, by the way.
but Chewy with Bowcaster is huge here. Ooh, he's gonna neighbor another one to the middle site for 1. So he left Chewy there so he could pay 1 to neighbor. And I think Reed's gonna
Doesn't
grab that
Greedo
here though.
stop?
Ooh. Yeah.
Maybe it stops neighboring to the site, but not away.
I think it's to or from. Guido, Nabern Blades may not transport characters to or from here.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, we can't really even say anything, can we?
No, because there's
Wow.
been lots of stuff like that.
Wow. How do I remember that, but Reed doesn't remember that?
Who won the first game?
Read by 5 was the first game.
And are they just starting this?
Remaker's like, who's this Yanny new card? She came out in V1 back
Dude, yeah,
in
like I played against a
2015.
WAP deck that Jeremy was using in playtesting, and he played down like 6 clones. It was like I thought there were only like 2 clones. It's like, did they make 1 per set and they just add it up?
Yeah. All right, so Cellucci escapes with a Nabrin that should not have happened, and sort of strands a bunch of bounty hunters, including Fett, who's real strong. Cellucci, I know, was aware of Crack Fett's potential and
IGA
Needs to
possibly
dig for-
stealing Yane away.
yeah needs to dig for evac.
And it puts Reed on a second battleground. So he needs 1 more.
Yeah, so I think that's when he wants to stack the system, but
But he has to
It'll be
pretty much
harder.
pay for Fett the rest of the game too now.
That's
because Greedo and IG88 are probably not going to want to sit there by themselves.
at some point Luke will probably have to engage them. He can't just keep running from them and expect to do any damage, because if they move in front and block the drain, then Luke and Light runs away. He'll need to engage him at some point.
Greedo had the potential to... Oh, yeah, we know. Greedo had the potential to use his seldom used game text.
Marines
and,
28, is that the numbers? Just came out and handed us the Greedo card.
and he's wondering why
We're
he
like, yep,
knows and Reed
yep.
doesn't also. He's like, I bought Reed a bunch of beers, and then he just like fucking let somebody... My bad. I'm sorry.
There's now a debate in the chat if it's Laurel or Yanny.
Who? Laurel.
Yane. Oh, you never heard that thing that went viral about
Oh,
the
gosh,
audio thing?
yeah.
Laurel, Yanny. Like,
I appreciate it.
so apparently we're renaming Yane V to Laurel. All right, so drain a 3, Reed
Bosk,
peels 3,
Emperor, and
and a
Masterful.
Masterful combo. And now he's going to...
Did he use it to get Gick? There's a force spent there, so I'm assuming he
No,
did. Oh, Boba Fett.
Yeah, Fett. Fett costs 2. Use a gig. So he searches for Yoda with the JCC just so he can see what's in his deck. And of course...
Harvester, thanks, buddy. I try to apologize.
See also, what color was the dress? Yes, the dress was
Purple.
Clearly white and gold. Or
No,
no,
what?
no,
No.
black and blue. It was clearly black
I
and
thought
blue.
it was purple.
My wife saw white and gold though, so... Yeah, the chat's calling for a drunk harpster to phone into our commentary, but it's only noon there, so you got to give him another 45 minutes.
He's probably buzzed, but he's probably not quite full on drunk yet. People haven't got their arms pulled out of their sockets yet. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, who knows what would happen in that battle?
Yeah, it could have gone great for Cellucci, and
we will never know.
We won't know how that could have gone, but it definitely shouldn't have happened.
Maybe let him do it because it'd just be better for him.
No, maybe you wouldn't make that deploy if it's better for him. But he did get to grab it, right?
He probably knew he had to do something.
He grabbed it, so that's
now
useful.
maybe he can clobber Shmi. What is Harpster saying?
Harpster says he's at the airport. He can't get drunk because they won't let him on the flight. He gets belligerent when he gets drunk, and it's not a good idea.
If Steve... The bag.
Nice.
If Steve Harpster was in Dead of Winter, he would want double the food portion, so he'd be unruly. Do you know why Harpster is abnormally aggressive, Joelson?
Tom asked if Steve Yane twice or it's his turn. It's definitely his turn. He Yane'd on Darkseid's turn.
He might have Yane'd before he activated.
Oh, you think so? Did he?
It's possible.
Oh, I just saw the one before Nabrin, and then now
or maybe
he just ended his turn. So Reed had paid for, and that his Cellucci's turn was basically like activate, pay 3 to drain,
crush,
lose 3, look with JCC. Yeah, he can't draw above 12, so he just didn't have much else to do. So what he's going to do is try and cycle with 3PO into more effective cards. I did see a Leia.
By using Yane and 3PO is pretty sweet. I wonder if he has his Hooge.
Yane, 3PO, like my father before me. It's all
he does have his Hooge because he picked it up with the Yane that time, right?
I think so, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
All right, so now the Falling's Fist comes down. And so he's going to be as soon as he gets a Black Sun agent aboard there, Coruscant will become a battleground. Add an icon for each. It looks like Guri, yes. So that'll stop any like Han, Rey, Screaming Lando, extra Destiny stuff there.
He'll do a damage.
He draws one with shadows, and Suchi has to lose one, which it looks like he's debating. He takes his first loss there with careful planning. He loses an extra Luke, and Reed immediately plays out of commission. Which I'm just kidding. That's a light side card.
I'm going to make a virtual dark side out of commission.
Harpster says he's never understood your Brian Fred references. Probably not one in his life. I don't think I've ever understood one of your Dead of Winter. I don't know what that is.
Do you know why Steve Harpster is abnormally aggressive? It's because he's got all those teeth and no toothbrush.
Okay, I do get that reference.
Good. At least somebody did.
He's a little ornery.
A little ornery.
U3PO, he's a little different.
Yeah, this is a strong turn for Reed.
U3PO comes out. This was a strong turn. Basically, he was able to set up free drains.
He has an acclimator in his hand and Anakin.
That's good.
Is that what I see?
Yeah.
And Padme is not at an underground site, so she can't just shuttle up.
Reed shuttles from interior site. Was it against you that he told you couldn't do that, and now he just did that against someone?
Oh, yeah. So between that and these guys are definitely going for broke.
Fett is going to go...
So both people have cheated once now, so it's even.
Yeah.
You taking off, man? You gonna be at Worlds?
Oh,
dang it. Oh yeah, of course. You better be at the NPC then. I'll need a first round opponent.
So U3PO comes down. Man. This was a strong turn for Reed. He sets up his third battleground. One of them's in space, so now he's poised to drain 1/1/1 and do a shadows damage.
On both turns.
Fett should be out of play, but Cellucci's debating something.
I think Reed's losing 2 cards to
Oh,
recycle.
Reed's losing 2, send
Because he hasn't wiped yet either.
Yeah, so basically he shuttled Greedo up, though she shouldn't have because it was interior. Shuttled Greedo up, and IG can't be battled. He can initiate, but he can't be battled, so he's not vulnerable there.
But that takes him off the 3rd battleground.
Oh, it does take him off the 3rd battleground. You're right, but he didn't. I guess he didn't want to. Yeah.
I don't see why he didn't wait on U3PO and
so
just played Resistance.
I think this is Cellucci's first game against Black Sun. It was obviously his first game against No Idea, and so there's lots of little stuff he hadn't caught, doesn't know, like that thing's underground, though he should know Greedo's text.
Even though it has the Wampa icon on it.
Yeah. Yeah, so someone asked, who's on Fist?
Guri.
Guri and Greedo now.
I probably would have waited on U3PO so I could keep the. Yeah, he needed to wait on that.
Why is that?
And just play Resistance and then keep the 3rd battleground so that he could keep doing shadow damage.
So he'd keep shadow damage, keep Fed on table.
And have another drain of 1 next turn.
Yeah.
Now he's just like.
I would like that, unless he just wanted extra fodder up at the system, and anyway.
Especially if U3PO just gets sorry about the mess right now.
Does he have that right now? Did you see it?
I don't know.
I don't know if he does either. But
Reed just lost out on like 3 damage, basically. To play U3PO instead of Resistance. I don't like that play.
Well, I think it's about even if there's no sorry, because then he saves himself.
He only has 1 injury reserve deck. It looks like
he saves himself 3, but he doesn't do 2 extra. Or yeah.
Oop, there's that. We forgot about that, didn't we? So here it comes.
He did take that with Yane, and now, so with the Acclimator in hand,
probably gets Rey.
Possibly Rey or Calfel. And he can go Acclimator, Anakin adds You're 1, right. And they both draw 1 destiny.
And you can do the Yane.
Yeah, if Yane's like a 7 on top that Anakin adds 1 to, he breaks the immunity, kills both Guri and Greedo.
You know this is about to be Yane's 4th time looked at when this is about to happen, right?
Yeah.
I think I would have picked under 5. 5 was a high number. I should have probably said 3.
I was thinking 3 when you said 5, so that's why I took the under.
I think 4 is
because once you've done it that much, you feel embarrassed picking it up the 4th time.
Oh, you know what's going to happen as soon as he just clears the fist right now. Yeah.
I hope everyone's enjoying this Yane tech, because it's been something that's brewing with this team, Cellucci and John Michael specifically, for a couple years, and it's just a goofy.
Now's its moment.
Now's its moment in the sun. We'll see if it's
enough.
We'll see if it gets a third moment be a tough
to
match.
The sun after this. But is it a moment to the black sun?
So I'm curious what he tunneled for. He obviously try and pick something immediately useful. He probably, as soon as he was looking through, saw that sorry about the mess and was like, oh, why did I only save 1? Well, actually, 1 still hits. Maybe he might be worried about O switch off protecting him, because O switch off is so great in Black Sun because it protects Guri, protects IG, randomly Probot, protects P59, protects U3PO. Like, O switch off is a really
P59.
Yeah, is a great card. So he might be worried about just wasting that, and is going to take a different play to try and take space. The thing though is, if Cellucci commits a lot to space, Reed can just lose all that stuff there and then redeploy a Fist or a Zuckuss and Mist Hunter over to Tatooine.
But
it'll still stay a Drain of 2 in a battleground, but then they'll both be at Drain 2 systems, and Reed will still have an extra battleground for shadows and be draining free.
I still don't like the U3PO play.
Okay.
But we'll see. Because now he has to deploy an extra character too.
Cam likes the Yane manipulation card. CRG wonders what other decks can abuse it. I mentioned earlier we've tried it in QMC. It's kind of neat, her extra activation text, because a lot of times QMC is a little short on force for its evasion, and that can be really helpful. What else have we put it in? Basically think of every light deck there is, and we've probably put it in. Prophet, anything with that already has Padme, especially if you have 2 Padmes, you could just throw in a couple Yanes and you're running Like My Father Before Me, and it's a pretty fun combo. So did he just? Oh,
I think
he
he got. I
Todd.
think he's getting solo and Ray.
He,
Or no, now he's going to get Cal Foul. It looks like.
he played Onita
Yeah.
to get the control tunnel back and play control tunnel a second time, and he's gonna pick another card. Corrin, it looks like. So he gets Corrin to kill the U3PO.
I'm wondering what he got the first time then. If he didn't just take Cal Foul and Corrin.
Yeah.
That's his 2 cards.
Well, maybe he did. Maybe he got Cal Foul as the first one. And
No,
Corrin
Cal
as the
Foul
second.
was still in his deck.
Oh,
when
was
he
it?
just,
Okay.
When the Corrin Horn was, unless he plays 2 Cal Foul, which he might. I'm not sure.
I think there was 2 last night, but I think there's only 1 at the moment. Yane has to be with Amidala, and Padme is a persona of Amidala, so they do need to be together. Actually, another fun deck I had her in. This was, I think, John Michael's idea, was a Yane combat. You play light side combat, and you throw Padme non-V. You're playing like a bunch of Padme non-Vs who can pull Qui-Gon, and then you throw Yane with her, and so they're sitting there at like your Naboo site, and then if they deploy any dudes to attack anybody, you just get to activate, and then you can do your Yane swap to like combat them, and so you don't even worry about like ability or the shield that limits you to 1, because they're like, all right, shield, and you're like, all right, I stack a 7 with as a combat card, and then I Yane a 7 on top. Let's combat. So I had her in a Yane combat deck that was pretty fun too. All right, so Corrin comes down so that he can break that
And the
U3PO's
Acclimator's
cover.
out. I'm guessing people will be getting shuttled up.
Acclimator did get deployed, so
Anakin would probably be deployed.
yep, Anakin, you are correct, sir. And Padme is going to add that Destiny to attrition with Anakin, which will really help him clear the system.
Who is this Ray?
Ray does go down,
So,
and she gets to use
that's
Power
probably, that's probably what his first card was. So maybe he's trying to get Cal Foul right now. There's Cal
and
Foul.
he was the
That's
last force
huge.
used, and he is what he takes. Yep. That
So do both of them add 1 to the Destiny before?
Anakin adds 1 to the Destiny before you compare. Ray adds the total, so
Okay.
that's after, but Anakin adds 1, and then you compare.
So this is about to be a crushing.
And Luke the same if he's there. So I mean, a lot of times on the ground, like they just.
Yeah. I bet Reed reads Cal Foul too.
It's hard to blame him. Who plays these janky stuff?
Reed does not have his Rebel Barrier.
So he's gonna look for Yoda. Is that what he said? He points at the JCC. I wonder if he doesn't know what his last card in reserve is. He can always Yane. So I don't know.
Probably not a Yoda.
Probably not. We actually did have Yoda in the deck because limiting Yoda plus Cal Foul, right? You cap everyone to 1 Destiny, and then you can Cal Foul. Actually, that's often in QMC too. I think Tom Haid played it in his QMC yesterday. But we switched from a Yoda to a second evac. So there's no current Yoda he can find in the deck. But yeah, it's a fun deck. It's goofy. If you're watching this and you're intrigued, you should look at Cellucci's deck
So
list.
he
and
just
try
put
it
down
out
a
on Jim.
card, and now he's on it. So he's going to swap them, probably. So there's a 6. And a Reed has Emperor, but it's not going to be good enough because Anakin will add 1. And Reed does not play any 7.
He bet a 7. It was a Bionic Hand.
Oh.
Which
cancel
Anakin will
the
add 1
6.
too. That 6 is now a 0. So yeah, so he battled in space for free with
So
Anakin.
7, 8, 9 attrition, which will get Guri and Greedo.
So the Acclimator added 1, Anakin added 1.
Ray adds 1, so that's everybody.
Ray adds 1, that's
Right?
10. Greedo's a 4, Guri's a 7.
Oh, okay.
7. So they'll cover, Fist will just be sitting there, and he may not even need to shuttle up stuff. He may not.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't need to.
Yeah, just Anakin and KFC alone are baller.
So he'll just own those 2 sites, probably. And Reed's going to have to go to, like, the farm.
Yeah, so he can. And
the Jedi Council chamber or
and
something.
the Tatooine system. Reed, I think Reed, now that all that is committed to Coruscant, Reed's going to go to the Tatooine system and try and drain 2 there, drain over on Coruscant and get his 3rd battleground. Maybe the farm, maybe the other Coruscant site.
I think Reed is in a bad spot, though. We'll put it that way.
Black Sun has a lot of resilience and a lot of tricks, and we haven't seen Reed do his tricks much yet, except, I mean, we saw one of his better tricks of Greedo stopping Nabra, and it just didn't work. I just said that because I know Reed Smith is going to watch this later.
Greedo has been now involved in both of the cheating experiences of the matchup.
Yeah, he let someone shuttle, and then his penance, he was allowed to shuttle himself.
Poor Greedo. He meant well.
And now he dies.
Now he's dead. But Reed might use his once per game to get Greedo back to try and cheat more later. He'll put him at the Jedi Council chamber and shuttle up.
Guta.
Oh, Greedo. Why
All
are
right,
you?
so here's the things right now. Both those characters are going to die. I don't know what we're waiting for, other than maybe Reed's thinking
He
about
might.
losing the whole ship. If he's got a second fist in hand to go to Tatooine, he might think about just losing the ship here. Um,
Well, with Cellucci's tricks, I mean, he has to. I mean, what's he gonna do? Leave it there?
right? Why? Yeah, can you contest it anymore?
No.
It's
Cellucci. I mean, and
pretty
we know
annoying.
Cellucci has a 7 on top,
Right.
and doesn't have to lose.
But then you're forcing him to lose from hand for your drain, and if you can ping in deploy phase. Whoa, Reed's peeling? Reed's peeling a bunch. He's immune less than 8, but he still has a... Oh, Andy's losing 2 dudes? Why?
It might be
Oh,
a
he
huge
was way
power.
outpowered. Yeah.
Because it's 7, 8, 9,
yeah, we
10, 11,
didn't-
12, 13, 14, 15, and Acclimator's 5 is 20.
Oh,
To
we didn't even
what's
count
the
power.
Phalanx Fist? A 6?
I think so, and Guriad's
6,
2.
7, 8, and Greedo
8,
has none.
and it was a 0.
Yeah.
So 20 to 8 is 12, but they cover 11. I don't know. He peeled a few. The math is probably right. I wasn't even thinking about power.
Well,
but
there's 3 dudes on the
so
Acclimator.
he pays 1 to break you 3PO's cover
Oh,
and steal
Calfal.
them.
I didn't add Calfal. It's 2 power.
Oh, Calfal, that's 2 more. Yeah. Okay, so Reed had to peel like 4 or 5 there, plus the 2 dudes. But he leaves the ship. So
Maybe he's playing just Gick. I don't know. It seems bad, but
I don't like that play of leaving the ship. Now, Yane and Padme shuttle up. I don't like that play either because I
think
think
he
you've
needs
already
them.
locked down the system, and it leaves you
He's dropping-
vulnerable. He's
he's
dropping
Ray.
Ray down. You don't want to go too vulnerable on the ground and risk a hidden weapons and that sort of stuff. But he did move Ray down. I like that. Yeah, instead of peeling, I think Reed should have lost the ship and then gone over to Tatooine with a different ship if he could.
Where is he?
But
Did
he
they move
probably has a
Acclimator
plan.
off camera.
Yeah, Reed picked it up to look at all the stuff on it. He's reading Yane again. That's what it
He
is.
totally
He shuttled up
is.
Yane and he's reading Yane again. He's checking if she works in space. That's why he's reading her the 4th time. Does she work? And she does.
So
I
that's
can
4.
confirm she does.
If we can get to 5, I'll be at least happy. Since I wasn't,
It'll be a push. That's
I'm good at setting up over-unders.
oh, that was almost a 5th one. He re-picked it up, but he was just ordering. All right.
I'm gonna act like that was a 5th.
4.5
It was a double
right
take.
now.
It was a double
He's
take.
close. Yeah, that was a good turn for Cellucci. It's Reed's gotta answer with something pretty strong here. With U3PO's cover broken, with pretty stacked up at the site and system. Right now he 3PO's a card.
For the 7, probably.
No, because he paid to shuttle and stuff
Oh,
down.
you're
The,
right.
the 7's like 4 or 5 cards down. He paid 2 to shuttle dudes up, 1 to shuttle a dude down, and 1 to break cover in move phase. So 4 and then the 7, and he just took 1 off. So there's 3 cards and then a 7.
You gotta love it when you're playing like a Tatooine deck. You give them all these like drain 2 sites, and then they just don't go over there at all.
So CRG mentions that light side combat Yane non-V Amidala deck I was just mentioning would be pretty good with the new General Obi, because that non-V Amidala twice per game pulls Qui-Gon or Obi. So if you've pulled Qui-Gon, you can also pull that Obi, and
Oh, yeah, that's really good.
yeah, and he
Old school
can
Padme
pull
can use
clones.
in
And,
decks.
yeah.
He can pull if they try and come battle. He just pulls.
Oh, another one
Rex.
we've had her in was Hyperdrive, because that's another deck we're using non-V Amidala. You can pull the Obi, the Padawan Obi and stuff, and then you throw Yane with her and you do hyperdrive tricks and stuff. Alright, so Reed Smith.
Yane's gonna get eroded.
Reed Smith plays Zuckuss and Mist Hunter. Does he have 4 ability now without...
He should have Cal Fal and Anakin there still, right? Or did he shuttle
Yeah,
Anakin?
no,
way-
Anakin. Yeah, you're right. Maybe he can set for stun.
He just put Forlom down. He doesn't have set for stun.
Okay, because I was going to say if he set for stun's Calfal, that'd be good.
I'm really not so sure what is going on here.
Forlom, and then maybe he has another
crack.
Crackfet. Maybe he's going to go Forlom, Zuckuss, Crackfet, try and draw 4 Destiny.
As bad
clear
as
up.
it sounds, I'm pretty sure there's only 1 Fet in this deck.
Huh. Okay, well, then maybe he's just going to draw 2 Destiny so Calfal doesn't do anything and try and just clear stuff out. But you have Padme with the Skywalker. She's going to add to attrition.
Yeah, this seems like a train wreck.
So Zam Wessel's going to go down, and he debates putting her at the sewer to do...
We can still do 1 now.
Oh, and... Wait, why did he just... Cellucci just drew 1 off reserve? Did he? Did he 3P it? No, he'd already done that. I'm confused. I thought it looked like he
definitely 3PO'd already.
Yeah, it looked like he drew 1 there, but I'm maybe not. Oh,
Ray?
Reed's-
No, there wouldn't
No.
be a card in his use pile for it.
No. Um,
Or maybe he activated one.
no, Yane's same related site. I don't know. I don't
How
know.
many times are we going to have to
Um,
read Yane is the question.
A
We're at
lot,
like 3.
a lot. So he puts Zamwessel down, and he thinks about putting her at the sewer so that he can get his shadow ping and stuff. But then she'd be trapped there, and he doesn't want to risk her getting stuck and beat down, and also let IG battle because he could come
Why
in
would
handy
she
later.
be trapped at the sewer?
Between the two, if you put her at the sewer, he can't move her away. Right now, I think his plan is to move her over back over with Shizor or shuttle her up, and so that's why he put her out. He thought for a second about putting her at the sewer and then changed his mind, put her at the middle site. And I think that's a better play. He can move her over to the other site for
You
free
have to
or shuttle
control
her up.
3 to ping? I thought you had
Occupy 3.
So
Occupy.
yeah, he can ping
Yeah,
now.
so that's why he did the middle site. He thought about going for the extra drain and then was
Or
like,
maybe
nah.
he'll move IGA over.
So now he can do the ping and um,
Did he just use his...
he showed Jodo. Yeah, he's using the sewer text. Cellucci picked up the sewer and read it, and he occupies 3. He doesn't have to occupy that site to
So maybe he
get
didn't
a
have to
dude
spend
into hand.
force for it
But
because Cellucci does
did
not
did,
have...
did you see him look through his lost pile and pick someone? I
No.
saw Jodo come from somewhere, so he
Yeah, I
talked
saw.
about.
Oh, that's the card he probably emperored.
Okay. So he pays 1 to
Good
think
lord,
about
yeah.
battling in space, I guess.
Did you just get blown out at Terraforming Mars and you're furious?
Pretty sure I'm getting my ass kicked.
Oh. That's no good. So has Reed battled with the system?
I think it's a mistake if he does, but I think he is. Oh, he's got some high destinies tracked. So he's got a 6-5 versus just a 4. Did he forget to Padme?
No, he might be about to do it still. Because attrition's afterwards.
It is, but normally, I think he just forgot. Because she is with Anakin, she's with a Skywalker, so she should have added one destiny to attrition. But I think Cellucci forgot. Yeah, because now Zuckuss is just dying.
How could you forget that after I just like brutalized him with that yesterday?
He doesn't know how
But the,
broken Padme
but
is.
the Mist Hunter is dead now.
Yeah, which is big because now he can't go over to Tatooine. I think that was a mistake. I think Peelin losing the fist with Anakin, KFC, and Acclimator all stacked at Coruscant. I think you just lose the fist in that previous battle and drop Zuckuss over to Tatooine. I could be wrong, and maybe he will be able to take the system here. So it looks like Padme and Yane die, and I think he's kicking himself for not doing Padme. Yane's
God,
Yane's forfeit
that's,
+1.
That's 5.
So he redrew a 6-5 Emperor and Force Lightning, which is 11. Padme covers 7, and Yane's normally 3 is 10, but she's forfeit +1 with Amidala, so that makes it cover 11. So Reed just picked her up
That's
and read her
5.
for the 5th time.
We need one
Good,
more.
good call.
We need one more.
Tom said he might not have wanted to Padme. I'm not sure why he would, because
Because you could probably kill the whole ship.
yeah, why not? Why would he want to battle back? There's no draw there. Fire on table, or maybe he has one in hand. I don't. He moves IG out. He shuttles Zamwessel up. I don't know why you wouldn't Padme there. Yeah, Tom says he might not have wanted to Padme, and then his next line was, "But that makes no sense. He wants to Padme here." Yeah, I think it was a mistake. Good players make mistakes. We've seen those. And
we've seen stingers sit in front of a whole crew of guys today.
We have indeed.
Cellucci's trying to make it interesting for us.
Lots of the games of Star Wars makes for a long weekend, but we've missed stuff as commentators too, and it's definitely a lot easier when you're watching than when you're there under the gun playing.
But most of the stuff we missed were because he was randomly just forfeiting cards he didn't need to because he thought he had to lose 13. That's why we were confused.
Yeah.
Except Bastion pointed something out to us earlier too.
Yeah, we've missed stuff that people in the chat has caught, and not just things.
Well, we
like
didn't miss Greedo's 2 times
attention.
cheater moves. And what did it get him for his good? Dead.
I hope Cellucci signs
Greedo.
Greedo, crosses his name out, and writes Cheetor.
Cheeto.
All right, so Reed, there's a Monarchon lost, but no Force Shoes, so I think he just lost. He's losing Force to the Force Train of 3 at the Shizor's Palace uplink station. So now Cellucci can draw above 12 if he wants, but he probably doesn't necessarily need to at this point in the game. Now, Shmi is still a large liability in this game that if you're Cellucci, you cannot forget about. Either burning your Hujiks elsewhere or not saving one for a first strike. I think Reed is keeping that in the back of his mind that if he can, if he ever can get first strike in his hand and an Ellis and catch Cellucci with no force saved and just drop a bunch of dudes, Ellis first strike, peel a bunch.
All I want is for Cellucci to
That's
play
always
Yane again.
a good out. Yeah, so Tom Kelly says this day has been a clinic of the need for active judging, and I think there is always a problem of volunteer judges and stuff. I think it is. I don't know that if it's official policy or what, but the PC is generally stated that they do active judging on day 2/3s of major events like this as much as is possible. So it's if it can be done, it will be done, and sometimes we just don't have enough people. The Nationals doesn't have a whole ton of volunteers. I think we'll probably once the finals is going, and it's not really fair to active judge one game and not the other if there's semifinals going on and stuff. So you try and keep that even. But I think if we just have the one finals game going on, I wouldn't be surprised if active judging does happen in the very last game, whether or not it's. Hey, congrats, Tom.
Yeah.
All right. So, what just happened with his force pile? Oh, another control tunnel? How did he, what is he?
No, he placed Walkling out of play.
Oh, yeah, he
and then
retrieved it with
Control Tunnel
Walkling.
Vision was the top card.
Good call.
And
So
then
he walked in
evac'd.
control tunnel, used it. Now he's got evac, yeah, and that's
Now we'll see
that's
how many
great
cards.
with KFC.
We'll see how many cards he pulls off of there.
Oh, now he does Padme and Yane again. So they're both back.
And there's
They're
a
gonna add
chance,
to attrition.
there's a chance for a sixth verify.
Yeah, they're gonna add to attrition, and
This is probably the end of the fist.
yeah, he'll cap to 1. He'll Yane a high card back.
So you
he'll
can
KFC
Cal
down.
foul over evac control.
Yeah, correct.
Wow.
So Cal foul basically is if
Good
they
showing,
just
dude. See you, man.
drew one. If both players drew one destiny,
It reduces. It doesn't cancel.
then
There's solo too,
it
so-
reduces their opponent's destiny to 0. And evac says it can't be modified or canceled, but it's not a modification or cancel; it's a reset, which is kind of silly that a reset is not a modification because it is modifying it to
Because
a
I
lower
guess
value. But
because like it's a mishunter.
that's how our rules are. Yeah, yeah. So Cal foul does work great with evac. If they spin around, though, the substitute destiny rules mean a spin is a second destiny, and then they draw the one. You can't Cal foul if they spin around evac. Obviously, the fist can't do that, but just if you're wondering in
It's
general.
like it's a mishunter.
It looks like there's a Speak, a Yane, and what's that other card in the middle of evac? I
You
don't know.
realize if he picks up the cards on the evac and looks at them, I'm calling the Yane as the sixth time. Because what else could you be trying to read to speak?
Oh, it's a Rose. That middle card, I believe, is Rose.
So put
So
a
he
5 on
Yane's
top.
Yane's and he evacs the Rose off. Cap them both to 1, which
So he'll get +1
I think
from
they were
Anakin, so
they
I'll
were
have
at
a
1
6.
anyway. So I'm not 100% sure why he did that. Zam doesn't add
He
1,
wanted
and
to
Greedo
probably
doesn't
run
add
the
1.
Rose.
Could, but what? Yeah,
So cancels
true.
the 5.
and he draws a 5 of his own,
Plus
which
1
is
for
+1 with Anakin, reduced to 0.
And attrition of 5.
Yep, so that's 11 total.
So the fist is gone.
Yeah, because we've got Forlom is
3
3
and a
and
4.
Zam's a 4. So when she's lost, she'll be able to force
Dang it.
pile search
I was
for him.
hoping that was a Yane.
It was a keep your eyes
I
open. It was a
was
5.
gonna say,
So
I'm gonna be all over Reed every time something close to Yane gets picked up. Oh God, that's Cellucci. Dang it, Cellucci verifying his own Yane.
all right. So Dan Tartaglione says, does Reed now play coward? It doesn't help because the Coruscant system says if light side occupies, it adds one light side
Yep.
icon. So it's still going to be a battleground.
And
Light is still at 2
And I know
battlegrounds.
Reed cut no escape last night.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Yeah, I didn't like it either, but that was his card that
Okay.
he decided to cut.
Okay.
So,
So we've seen Zuck is dead and Fist is dead.
He's got one more fist.
Okay. So he's got another Fist that
He's
I
shuttling,
think
he's
would go to
shuttling down
Tatooine.
Yane and friends.
Yane and Padme, and he's just tanking. Because why do you need to go? Why split guys at sites? Why risk any sort of beatdown if you can
That's
just
a drain
drain
of
through
5
there?
a turn.
Yeah, he's doing 5 a turn, and Dark's paying to do 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Cellucci's looking in a pretty dominating position here.
And I just like to point out that all this is courtesy of Padme, because Yane wouldn't work except with Padme, so Padme OP, bottom line. It's not Yane that's the broken one.
Yeah, Yane's definitely not broken, but she's fun to do some tricks with. She's
She's pretty.
but I mean-
she's pretty OP, but only in certain decks.
yeah.
And you have to set up a lot of stuff.
You have to set up a lot of stuff, and you can just go kill her if you're the dark side. Like,
Well, if she's in an acclimator or something. What they say?
Everyone says Padme's really good. USA Gamer Girl says program trap blowout, please. But right now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 light characters plus dark IG is 6. So if he can battle with the Emperor out in program trap, is that in the deck?
I hate to point this out, but there is no program trap. But Reed is floating a Yeb Yeb. He just can't play him because he's not a Black Sun agent.
Yeah. Mike Turner says he probably has their tracking us V.
Yeah,
and,
I think
I don't. He does not. It was one of the suggested card last night, but there's like 10
if
10 cards
anything,
you could
we
always
would
go
have
Yane.
thermal
But
detonator. I'm guessing. But I don't think he
so
has thermal
program
detonator
trap
either.
would work with attract. No, I miscounted. There's 6 light side characters plus the droid would be 7, so Reed would need a 7. All right, so now he's gonna do Shizor over for 2. And Cellucci, it looks like only has 1 force, so he can't afford to grab that because then if first strike comes out, he can't afford to Hoojix. So unfortunately, he's got to let that go. Otherwise, I think he would grab that. But I think Shmi's just eating the Hoojix here.
And if he really has to. He really needs that chick anyways. The Emperor's got problems though now.
Tom says they're playing it wrong. You put the Destiny down and then pay force. Oh, Reed paid 2 and then put the Destiny on top of it. Yeah, I know. So you draw, it goes used, you pay.
Oh, I always
and then
played it the other way.
Yeah, no, the Destiny resolves and then you pay.
Destiny, then you pay for whatever it is, then the Ellis, right?
Yeah.
That's how I always play it.
What Reed just did is he paid 2 and then put the Destiny and then the Ellis. The Destiny should have gone before the 2 that he paid. Gamer Girl says, Yane's cool, but I'd trace the problem to like my father before me.
Oh, yeah. She's right. She's certainly right.
She was right about Yeb Yeb.
Yeah, she was, so.
All right. He plays Jodo to the sewer, which doesn't even give him a... I don't know why. I don't know what that does for him. He plays...
Maybe when he moves him out
P59,
to the farm, he'll be able to ping.
He'll be at 3 battlegrounds and ping, but... So he battles. He's going to be able to shoot her...
That misses, right? Because she's minus 1 BD. Oh, that did miss. That was a 2.
2 and she's a 3. Yeah, so...
Boy, Shmi is a boss. Look at her. She doesn't
and she's
care.
Yeah. So he's power 9 plus, I think that was a 5.
It was
There's
Tarkin's
no commands.
Bounty. It was Tarkin's Bounty.
Tarkin's Bounty, okay. So 4, so 13. Minus 1 with Shmi, but he just Hoojix.
Spending 2.
And he didn't have to end up paying 1 because there was no first strike, but you've got to assume that they might, because you don't want to peel like 10 there. Because as soon as if he had paid the 1 and he did have the first strike, then Jodo wouldn't have been over there. He would have been down 2. He would have been trying to make him peel as much as possible. So he top decks a Rescue in the Clouds to the Shadow Ping here, and then he's going to Yane and peek, and it looks like he leaves them where they are. And now Reed...
Being able to Yane every turn is...
On both turns, yeah.
Very good.
Shadowing on both turns is good too. He's going to do that right here to Cellucci again. But right now, Reed's in desperation mode. I mean, he literally threw Jodo alone. He moved and left Shizor alone. He's left Emperor alone. He's trying to cause damage because he's going to eat another 5 this turn in drains. And at the very least now he can pay to drain 2 at Shizor's site. He can ping shadows on both people's turn. He can do some of his own damage. He needed to do something. Obviously, this isn't ideal for him because he's super thin everywhere, and he's just in sort of desperation mode.
Side?
Just the one, and it was grabbed.
Yeah.
So no neighboring, but Cellucci can we know he has On the Edge in his hand.
Oh yeah.
I don't see how he can lose this.
Did he just lose the 7 from hand or off the top?
No, it went off the top, which is weird because he just Yaned.
Yeah, that is really.
Oh, weird. Then he activated. That was he Yaned on the dark side's turn, and then he activated, and then he lost his shadows off the top blind because it was after activating that Reed said shadows, and then he had to lose 1. Yeah, Tom asked about his number of battlegrounds, and he is at 3 with the Emperor, Jodo, and P59. So he drains 3 and drains 2.
It's probably 2 and 2. I'm assuming.
Resistance is probably out off the camera. You're right. So Rose comes down. So retrieval. There is a resistance character on table, I believe.
Ray.
Is Ray still alive? Yeah, Ray's down there. So
they're both. They're both. I think Solo's on the ground also.
Oh. Yeah, so Ray's going to retrieve 1 every turn. Every light side control phase, that'll make up for a little bit of Dark's damage. But Light's already obviously ahead in the damage race from multiple drains at 3, plus the first fist battle where Reed peeled some cards. So he's already ahead in the race. And
this is why I think combat response is better for Agents of the Black Sun.
Ooh, that's a mistake.
Well,
if he's going to battle,
he puts somebody else with
it. So Shizor says you can't draw Destiny unless you have ability 6 or more, and she only has 5.
I'm not sure if he has any other characters in his hand.
Oh, he's
going to use Pile Pull though. Oh, there's Chewbacca. Oh. So there's a clinic.
But there should still be a Shizor's bounty in his hand. He decides not to bounty her because
So he'll get the
blaster deflection. Oh, she just cheated. You can only if they go to a battleground site can you use Pile Pull, and Leia's not at a battleground.
Well, for all the time Cellucci left stingers in front of stuff, he's trying to make up for it.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things to remember.
He still owed Reed 1 for the Greedo shuttling up, even though he never away.
Oh, Card Shark Phil points out that it's Jodo, not Django, or Django, not Jodo. I keep saying the wrong one.
So there's
one of the
7.
feds.
So there's a 7 on top now. So he's just gonna shoot Prince's or
so he doesn't care that he gets no battle.
Did
retrieve 1.
You don't retrieve.
Yeah. Yeah. And now he can move her out in front of P59. Blaster deflection, the shot. That's why he took the blaster deflection.
I don't see why he wanted to shoot 3PO though.
Oh, he moves 3PO away.
Oh yes, good call.
and then he can blaster deflection the shot, take another card off evac, and shoot P59.
I'm surprised he didn't just retrieve the 7 though.
With Leia, he should have retrieved.
Or did she say the battleground?
That's a good question. I don't think. Oh, she has to be at a battleground. No, to turn off AOs. I will check. Let's check what. General Leia Organa says, while the worm or battleground, whenever you initiate, she was not at a battleground. So he did remember her text couldn't retrieve, but he forgot the use Pile Pull was only at a battleground. Oh, I am incorrect. Tom Kelly says I must be allowed to speak works at all Tatooine sites. So it was a totally legal play.
I thought it did, yeah.
Okay, my mistake.
So there's still one for one with the Greedo stuff. First, Cellucci nabbed away from Greedo, and then Reed shuttled up Greedo from interior side. So they were both just like, well, screw this.
Greedo don't play by anybody else's rules.
He doesn't. When you're in the top 4 of a tournament, it may ignore all of Greedo's game text.
He shot first.
Yeah, that's true. That's why he shuttled up first.
Where did Leia go? What just happened? Oh, he's reading him.
Too bad that wasn't Yane. I set the over-under on Yane's game taking a red too high. I picked 5, and it's right at 5.
It's right at 5. Reed's picked up Yane 5 times to read.
One time he picked up the whole shift to try and throw us off, but we knew what he was reading. I think he got it all
loses
of the system now.
1 to Shadow's Ping. And, yeah, it's Reed's... Reed drops Probot.
I don't know if this helps him. But
well, I think what he's hoping...
One will get shot, one will get...
He's hoping to hit Leia. Oh, and Fett. And then the other gets
obviously.
lost and then draw a Destiny and kill Leia. But yeah, does it even matter? Right now, Cellucci's going to turn around and do 5 more damage and retrieve 1 on his turn. And there's an evac, so that Fett's not going to... Well, Fett is not with the Bounty Hunter or Imperial, so
Maybe
he's not even
trying to outpower.
So Cellucci, Yane peaks. He has a 6 on top.
And he has Solo out and Hujix in his lost pile.
Yeah.
Shoot Fett and take the power out.
Yeah.
Or shoot
P59. Well, he's got Blaster Deflection.
Yeah, he can deflection, but depends on... But if he draws low, he might still be around next turn, and then the Blaster Deflection will be gone. And Reed doesn't have the Force for Fett, so leave Fett. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'd shoot P59 here.
4 right now, just power with Fett.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't necessarily want to have to burn the Hujix.
So he wants to keep Leia.
Fett's still at 7.
Honestly, it probably doesn't matter because next turn Cellucci drains 3 and 2 and retrieves 1. So
yeah.
Did he pay 1 and shoot somebody?
Yeah. That's what the 1 use pile is.
Yeah. Okay. So he does go with Fett. Did P59?
Not yet.
I wonder why.
Reed only has 1.
Oh, he only has 1 Destiny, so he didn't bother to shoot. And Leia is not immune to that 4. She's immune less than 4, so she will die. And she drew a 5, which Probot does not. Oh, Probot is a 5. He's deployed 4 for 5, so he covers that.
Probot's a boss, dude.
Harvester says he already played Hujinx. That's true. However, Solo is out, and it's sitting in Lost Pile, so
He didn't already burn that.
No.
he has not soloed anything yet. Solo's such a nice safety blanket when you've
yeah.
got him out and you just feel...
I definitely Hujix like 3 times a game against Matt Scott at Worlds.
Hujix, Walkling it, played again.
We had the Obi-Wan
Solo.
list per game in the deck still. Because he was playing the Trooper
Oh,
Ghost.
he plays on the edge here. Let's see what number he picks and what he draws. And
He's going to draw the 7.
well, he just saw a Dark Time, so unless he thinks there's 2, he might just...
He has 1 lower. I'll say 4.
So I'm guessing it's...
He's got 4 active, it looks like. So
So he draws a 7. Pays 1, 2, 3, 4. Retrieves.
And then we'll
1,
retrieve with
2,
Rose.
3, 4, including that 7.
Ooh.
Oh, now he has to lose half, so he's got to lose 2.
Do they go on top of on the edge?
Yeah, I think it's after you've just retrieved. Cellucci's asking that same question. I think it's after the retrieval is completed, but maybe before the interrupt resolves?
I think that's how it works. I think it's going to be before.
I'll pull up Imbalance Combo, though that probably won't tell us the answer. So, if opponent just retrieved force, must lose. So I think it's a response to the retrieval, and you play it, and then the on the edge finishes resolving and goes lost. So I think on the edge should be on top. But I would need a judge to... Yeah, no, the chat agrees. Tom Kelly and Mike Turner both say on the edge retrieves resolves after, so it should have on the edge on top, but
Ruling thing about like each individual card
yeah,
on the edge
is its own separate thing. Yeah, and so he interrupts it after the last one of 4, but before the edge is resolved. So whatever, they mistake that, but it's not a big deal. Steven retrieves 4, loses 2, plus the edge. It was a net of 1, ends up, and now he's draining. He peels 2 and 2. There's the extra fist, so seems like all of his space is gone. Yeah, I really think Reed's key mistake. Now, I don't know if it would have been enough to win this match. It looks like this is a pretty tough match for Black Sun. But and Rose retrieves one there. I think Reed's key mistake was peeling to keep the fist and then coming back down with Zuckuss and trying to fight that instead of just losing the fist.
Oh yeah.
So you don't peel. Put Zuckuss at Tatooine. Now you're taking a drain
and
at you with Coruscant, but he's doing that anyway now. You have your third battleground, and you're draining 2, and yeah.
Because you've got the Nabron grabbed already too. So
right, and you've got your own Ellis and stuff. So
guys.
right. You're right. The hyperspeed difference between them is 7 from 7 to 0. So yeah, you go Zuckuss and maybe the Forlom if you want to feel even safe against another ship and lose that fist in the first battle
and he might have had the barrier.
He's got like 5 cards left.
Yeah. I don't know if they're gonna take. Tom Hay told me to text them when they were ready for him, but they're probably gonna take a break for a second, I would assume.
Yeah, I think Cellucci's hit.
We'll see if Cellucci
5 or 10 minute break to just relax your mind and read Drew.
No. He paid the drain.
Oh, okay.
So the over/under on how many times Tom Hay has to read Yane, because Tom Hay thinks of some pretty crazy stuff. Also,
so we set it. Already got some Yane.
We'll set it at 3 this time because 5 was too high. But we got there. We pushed.
I think he might only do 2. I might still take the under on that, but maybe not. 3's a good. 2.5 would be a hard call. All right, so Luke dies there to Shadow's ping. I didn't see him draw one, but he just top decked one in the middle. So
we can only assume that happened.
Yeah.
This is why
he pays 1 and plays on the edge. Oh, on the edge from Lost with Solo, because they buried it on accident. Draws the 7. He picked a. Let's see how much he pays. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he did just pick a 5 to be safe against a Dark Time. He's got to now lose.
So is it rounded up?
Round down. Yeah, he grabs it and he loses 2. But his life force is plenty. And he just paid 5 to retrieve 5, so he's got 10 and used plus another few, and now Rose is going to retrieve another one.
And none of those guys can step in front of stack of guys.
And this was in his activate, so he's going to do another 4 damage this turn.
So Dark Time was gone.
Dark Time was in there, so it's good that he picked the 5 instead of, if he had picked 6, which is less than 7, then Reed would have subtracted 1 from the Destiny, and he would have missed and blown up whichever dude he was targeting, possibly Luke. So he does 2/2, retrieves with Rose. And I just don't think Cellucci has to do anything here. There's no point in even. I think this is a mistake.
Oh God!
There's no point.
As BD against Luke.
Okay. Because I was gonna say you battle, and if he has a hidden weapons, I mean maybe he's got Hear Me in hand, but captures Luke, he's still not gonna lose the game. But it's like why even move over and risk?
I think he's shuttling guys down to the sewer.
I think he's saying, let me read Yane one more time. Yeah, no. Oh, they're telling him about the Nabron and the Greedo thing. Someone's pointing at Nabron and saying, like, you shouldn't have done that with Greedo. And
then Reed's like, I know. That's why
we're going to hope you guys enjoyed that game. We're going to so your 2 finalists are Steven Cellucci and Tom Hade are going to be playing, and we'll probably have maybe a 10-minute break. And then we'll be starting the game in just a little bit.
Shuttled up from the sewer to the